What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on Max Unboxing, he's going to be interviewing Terrence Crawford, and they're going to be discussing who he might fight next. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Terrence, is it true that you have said that it would take additional money over your normal purse to fight in front of no crowd, or that you wouldn't take a pay cut to fight in front without a crowd?
No. Listen, my contract states I'm not taking no pay cuts. If we have to fight for the minimum, then so be it. But as far as that pay cut and whatnot, it depends on who we fight.
So I completely understand where Terrence Crawford's coming from. A contract is a contract. But at the same time, I do realize that, we are in uncharted waters with the pandemic and, the coronavirus. So I understand that's messing things up. But again, like I said, if Terrence Crawford were to say, you know what, let's get rid of this current contract that everybody signed, and how about maybe you guys can give me an extra $5 to $10 million, the powers that be would not be okay with that. It's the same thing as, Terrence Crawford, like, look, whatever's happening is out of my control. I'm not taking a pay cut. A contract is contract. Even though I know the coronavirus is going around and that you may not get the money at the gate and sales and things of that nature, I still need to get my money regardless. So let's continue.
Bob Arum has said he respects that. Bob Arum says he respects fighters who think that, who feel that way, but that the show must go on, so he's got to use fighters who will fight. He mentioned 4 fighters for you. He thought where the fight might be made. Obviously, Manny Pacquiao is the fight many people would like to see. He also mentioned Ugas. He mentioned Kell Brook. He mentioned Shawn Porter. And, of course, there's Errol Spence. Can you take me through your thinking about each one of those fighters, starting with Manny Pacquiao?
Well, Manny Pacquiao is a fight that we still currently looking forward to getting. But, like I said, the pandemic has messed up a lot of things as far as money issues and whatnot, and the fans not being able to actually come and see the fight. So I really don't know how that will fare against any top welterweight in the division, because when you look at the whole landscape of the whole thing is going to come down to money, and if you can't provide the proper money for each fighter, then how is we going to make a fight happen?
So that the whole money thing is definitely going to mess things up because it's not going to get the type of sales. So the immediate fights I like to see for Terrence Crawford would be, first I'd like to see him fight Errol Spence. Now that's going to be kind of wishy-washy because he's still dealing with his the terrible accident that he was in. But if Terrence Crawford were to fight him and he'd be able to pick up the IBF and the WBC belts, then I'd like him to see maybe fight Manny Pacquiao. And if he beats Pacquiao, he could pick up the WBA. And then the third fight would probably be maybe Shawn Porter. I think that'd be a good fight too. But overall, definitely, if they can't get this going with the money and all that, they're gonna have to someone's gonna have to take a pay cut to make this fun, because you have to keep the sport alive. You have to keep the sport alive. So somebody's going to have to fight. So I don't know. Let's continue.
Terrence, Pacquiao's the biggest name, and he can still fight at a very high level. Witnesses.
Yeah, you can ask AB about that.
Against Keith Thurman, his win at his age. But the number one guy that I and many others would love to see you fight, at least before his car accident, is Errol Spence. That, to me, would be the best matchup in boxing. Both guys in their primes, at their peak weight, great boxer-punchers, the whole
Yeah, and they're both undefeated. Crawford's 36-0. Spence is 26-0.
thing. First, since Errol's accident, have you heard from him? Anything about him, about his condition? Is that fight still appealing to you?
Well, Errol, he's stated that he's fine. He's training. Nothing's really wrong with him. And he's preparing himself for Danny Garcia. So, after this fight, we're all going to get a glimpse of, how he would react coming off a car accident of that magnitude, and being that he's taking on a tough opponent in Danny Garcia, because Danny is by far no walk in the park for anybody. So, we all going to get our answers come fight night when him and Danny share the ring together.
You ain't lying about the welterweights, Terrence. You're swimming with sharks in this division. I believe you're the best among them, but of course, you all have to prove it in the ring. Errol barely got by Shawn Porter, who's a very tough guy. Shawn Porter is one welterweight who hasn't been afraid to mention your name, has said on TV on a rival network that it's like people are ducking you, they kind of don't want to talk about you, and he'd be willing to fight, according to Shawn Porter. What do you think about a Shawn Porter fight?
Well, that's a good fight, like I said,
I agree. That would be an excellent fight.
If that's the fight that he wants to pursue, then, we'll talk about it, and so be it. I don't duck no fighter. I never turned down a fighter, so I won't stop now, But my whole thing was, I'm looking for the titles. I'm trying to become undisputed. Me and Shawn is actually good friends and whatnot, but my whole thing was before he lost and before all him and the Errol Spence, there was no mentioning of us having a unification fight, no nothing. So I feel some type of way about that, but it don't matter, at the end of the day, we all gotta fight each other. And I'm willing to fight everybody.
Yeah, so it sounds like Terrence Crawford definitely want to go after Errol Spence and get that IBF and WBC out of the way, and then go down and take care of Manny and pick up the WBA and unify. So, again, it's going to be very tough with Errol Spence. We don't really know how, he's going to handle this, or what's really good, how he's going to pan out. But I do know one thing: Terrence Crawford is hungry, and if he can knock out or take out Errol Spence, that's definitely going to be 2 belts right there. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Hope so. Well, you say that with a smile on your face. I hope you're right about that. It would be a shame if this era passed and you didn't link up with the other best welterweights in the world. So when the dust settles,
yeah, it would be a shame.
We can see who's left standing. I believe it'll be you, but, it is very tough at the very top. Meantime, this idea has been floated recently that in the absence of a welterweight opponent, big name guy they can get in the ring with you, maybe the winner of a Jose Ramirez-Josh Taylor super fight at junior welter could move up, particularly if it's Jose Ramirez, and make a big fight with you. What would your thought be about fighting one of those junior welter champs if they were able to unify and move up?
Crush him. Simple. Whenever you're ready, you can crush him.
So Crawford's basically, you can come on up and wait and get beat down, and y'all can get beat down.
Simple.
Terrence, appreciate you coming on the show. I see even the look on your face tells me that you're more optimistic, it seems to me now, than you were, say, a year ago, that maybe some of these fights can get made. I, too, am more optimistic about it. Top Rank and Heyman now apparently